there. Welcome to another of my Own Your Expertise interviews. I'm Emily Crookston, owner and decider of all things at the Pocket PhD. I'm the ghostwriter for Rebels, Renegades, and Mavericks, and I love helping experts with big ideas get those ideas out of their heads and into the hands of their fans. Today, I'm sitting down with Anne Brown. Anne is the founder of Happy Being You, which I love that name. Happy Being You, what a beautiful name for a coaching practice. Anne works one-on-one with clients using her intuitive coaching skills and NLP techniques to bring clarity and self-awareness and help them reach their full potential. Anne, thank you so much for speaking with me today. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about who you work with and what you do?
Yes, thank you, Emily. So have you ever felt like there's something different about you, like there's something that sets you apart from other people? Maybe you've got big ideas, big goals that you want to achieve, but you're not quite reaching them. And you know that there's something blocking you, something getting in your way. Mm-hmm. And you might even be telling yourself that there's something wrong with you. It's because there's something wrong with you. Well, that's what I help people with. I help them to break through those blocks so that they can achieve what they really want to achieve. And I coach sensitive women, so usually solopreneurs. And quite often they're high achievers or even gifted, and they come to me because they want to achieve even more without burning out through overwork.
Mm-hmm. So tell us how tell us about your path to becoming an expert.
Yes, my path started 18 years ago when my husband died very suddenly, just after our daughter was born. Mm-hmm. Because I was struggling with that, and it took me quite a while to even figure out which way was up. Sure. But I decided to study NLP.
Okay.
As a way to change my path in life, to learn new skills, and to also mainly to learn more about myself.
Tell us what NLP stands for. What is it?
So it's neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
And that's it's a way of understanding how and why we do what we do. So it's a tool set, if you like, mm-hmm. but it's also a way of thinking and experiencing, a way of defining our life experience, our life experience. And also it gives us a way to change that. Mm-hmm. So once you understand how, so neuro-linguistic programming is basically neuro as in the brain, our neurology, and linguistic is about the patterns of language that we use. Mm-hmm. And the programming is kind of like resetting our internal operating system, if you like, the way the mind works. So NLP gives us a way to not only understand how and why we do what we do, but it gives us huge capacity for changing that. NLP, right. and the intuitive coaching, that's my tool. But I suppose in terms of expertise, how I use that tool, mm-hmm. it's around enabling people to be okay with their emotional self.
Right, that's the
that's the nugget of it. Really, I realized that a lot of people have that same path in a way of feeling different, of feeling that there's something about them that's not normal or not right. Mm-hmm. And another thing, one thing that I discovered when I did my NLP training is that I get tearful, and I get tearful when I feel passionate.
Yeah.
And again, that's one of the skills that I learned. I think one of the huge benefits of doing that training for me is just being okay with my emotion and expressing emotion.
Right.
I think what I've learned to do is to be myself, and myself is emotional and vulnerable. And I think it's, you know, a lot of us put on layers and layers of protection, and we trying to wear a mask, then you're distancing yourself from who you actually are, which is a big problem if you're trying to if you have goals and, you know, big ideas that you're trying to achieve, if you're fighting with yourself constantly,
Yes.
I think that really holds people back.
I think there's something really important in what you're saying about the cognitive dissonance, the amount of strength and energy it takes to keep putting up those facades every day, day in and day out, right?
Yeah.
And I think people don't recognize how, they don't often wrap their minds around how light they're going to feel if they can just be themselves and be vulnerable.
Yes.
Right? I bet it's a huge relief for a lot of clients, right?
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because in order to learn how to be more aware, you have to kind of to touch on those traumas, those difficult things, those hurts.
Yeah.
And so you have to be able and willing to go to those difficult places in order to release those burdens, because it is a burden.
Yes. Well, I think you've done a very nice job of showing us how you translate your expertise right here in real time.
And so what I do with NLP is to take them back to that situation, using their imagination, their memory, asking them what exactly happened, who was there, and how that made them feel. And what I do with the NLP is to enable them to have an experience of what they would have needed at that time. So an experience of love, acceptance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think when you talk about it in terms of a trauma, that's a moment in time, right? So allowing somebody to sort of go back to that moment and almost rewrite it. Right.
Exactly. Rewriting it. It's rewriting, because using your imagination. See, that's the thing, is I suppose NLP allows you to not trick your brain, but it's almost like it's resetting. It's enabling you to re-experience one in a different way, using resources that you have as an adult and apply them into your past to change what happened then, and bring that through to your adult life. So it changes everything. It changes what's possible for you as an adult.
Yeah. What would you, if you could go back in time and mentor your 20-year-old past self, what advice would you give?
When I was that age, I was, I still am very sensitive, but at that age, I told myself that other people know better than me. And now, of course, I mean, yes, there are experts on certain things, but no one is an expert on you except you.
Yeah. Tell us where we can find out more about you if we're curious.
My website is happybeingyou.com. That's the main place. Or you can go to my LinkedIn profile. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Anne Brown, Happy Being You.
Beautiful.
And so, so I'd encourage people to read my blog, and that's a good way to learn about my approach.
Yes, great. Yes, I love that. Yeah, the blog is the place. Cool. Thank you so much, Anne.
Thank you, Emily. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.